Hello, this is Thinking Out Loud with me, Ian Currey. Do you ever get down in the dumps? Or perhaps you know someone who seems like they are just too much work to be around because they're so gloomy. Depression, though, can be really hard to handle, can't it? There are no easy answers, but sometimes there are a few things that we can do that can help. Come on, let me tell you what I think. Last time I said, what a lovely time of year it is. Well, I enjoy autumn and even winter, so long as it doesn't get too cold. But what if you don't like the dark evenings? What if you don't like having to wrap up in a thick coat before you can even go outside? Not everyone likes the things I like. And some people get very sad about the struggle of the darker months. A lot of things can get people down in the dumps, can't they? I'm almost afraid to talk about the things that might be on that list. It can be almost anything, though. Some of the big things that start that spiral of doom and gloom, feelings of worthlessness, feeling lonely, and feeling like you're stuck in a rut. There are many other things too, I'm sure. I noticed someone say this week, I'm just not popular like you. I don't feel valued. Oof, that's a hard one to deal with, isn't it? Do you know people it's just tough to be around? I talked about that in a video called Difficult People some time ago. I told you about a friend of mine that always seems to be down in the dumps, and how somehow we stayed good friends despite that. But what if it's you that's the difficult person? What if it's you that's feeling all gloomy? What can you do when it's you that's depressed or feeling down? Now, before we go any further, let me say that sometimes you just must get some professional help. Talk to a doctor or other professional counselor. All too often, people feel ashamed or even guilty about reaching out for help, but you must. And if things get too much for you, then make sure you know where to turn and who to call before it becomes too late. Now, sometimes I get a bit down in the dumps too. With me, it's most likely to be because someone has says they will do something and doesn't, and lets me down, or disappoints me, or I feel like I'm spinning my wheels and just not getting anywhere or something like that. Let me tell you what helps me when I get in those dark places. First, a little bit of exercise sometimes help. Taking Sparky for a walk really helps just to clear my mind and get me out of the house and into the fresh air. And if you are a little bit down, how about calling a friend and meeting up for a walk? And if you want to help someone else you know that gets a bit depressed from time to time, why not be proactive and get together for a walk? Another thing I find helps may sound strange. I try to help someone else. Now, how can you help someone when you feel like you need help yourself? Well, strange as it sounds, that's one of the things that can really make a difference. I'm not sure why, when we feel like we're done, getting on and helping someone else seems to make us feel better. But it really does, doesn't it? One of the proverbs that we can find in the Bible talks about this. Give freely and become more wealthy. Be stingy and lose everything. That sounds like one of those get-rich-quick schemes, doesn't it? And sadly, I've met people who think that that is what this means. But look at the very next sentence, and you'll get the true meaning, I'm sure. The generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. So the principle of givers getting back more than they give is true. But this twist of reaching out to others to refresh them will actually refresh and renew you, and that's vital. The next thing is sort of related to this. Volunteer. Give some time to a worthy organization that does something that you identify with and help out doing whatever you can. Our family spends a day or so a week doing this. Hilary and Robert often go to a local food bank and load trucks or put supplies in the right place or whatever it is that's needed to be done. Now, I can't get there very often, but whenever I am around the people there, I'm always encouraged by them. You meet some good people in these places, don't you? That leads me on to the next thing. While some of us need to be alone to recharge our batteries, all of us need human contact one way or another once in a while, don't we? Recently, I've been missing a very close friend of mine. He lives a good distance from here and hasn't been very well for quite some time. Without that special time we used to have regularly together, we're both affected. Being with people we love and people that are close to us is vital. Some of us don't have a huge group of friends or even family, but making sure we develop and maintain good relationships is so important, isn't it? The last thing I have on my list today that I want to mention is patience, not giving up. David the psalmist seemed to sometimes be a little bit like me and can't work out why God isn't doing his thing when we need him to, now. O Lord, my rock, I cry, why have you forgotten me? Why must I wander around in grief, oppressed by my enemies? Their taunts break my bones. They scoff, where is this God of yours? Why am I discouraged? Why is my heart so sad? There's a little side note here. What people say can be so hurtful, can't it? My mum used to say, just don't listen to them, when I was getting called names. But, well, you might remember I also said that my mum often told me to listen more. And you kind of can't have it both ways, can you? Words really do matter. And we all need to be careful about them, how we use them and how we hear them. When we're down, we want things to be fixed now, don't we? Sometimes it just takes time. A few misspoken words can stick and they hurt, especially if we're already down. Being able to turn to God for help is a good place to be too. I waited patiently for the Lord to help me, and he turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the pit of despair, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on solid ground and steadied me as I walk along. Do you see how David says, and steadied me as I walked along? That getting out and having someone with us that cares and can steady us on our journey is so important, isn't it? As we head through Christmas and then on into winter, please make sure you have the specific help you need around you. Don't hesitate to reach out. Reach out to someone that can help you or that you can help. Now, if you haven't already done so, take a moment to subscribe to this video channel and pass the video link on to your friends. Thank you for doing that. Until next time, goodbye.